Hi, welcome back to another My Bourbon Journey review. My name is Scott. Today I have a very interesting and unique product. This is from a distillery by the name of Troy and Sons. They were nice enough to send along a few samples for me to do a short review of, so I thought I would go ahead and do that for you today. Now, none of these are actually bourbon. They are all whiskey. However, we'll go ahead. They did send along a description of each one. So I'll show a color and then read kind of a description and then just do a short kind of taste profile to see if it kind of matches anything that they had as described. So first, let's go ahead with number one. This is called the Blonde Whiskey. And let's do a color here. So you can see it's kind of a light copper. Might be coming through a little bit darker than it really is, but still kind of a light, very light copper tone to it. So, so again, this is the Blonde Whiskey. Here's kind of the description that they have on their sheet. Again, number one, Blonde Whiskey, an ultra premium American craft whiskey made exclusively from hearts with heirloom turkey red wheat and white corn. Velvety soft, full-bodied with butterscotch and vanilla influence. Aged in new honeycomb American white oak barrels for 3 to 4 years. So it does have a little bit of age. So let's go ahead and just give this a quick nose. So yeah, right up front, it does indicate that there's butterscotch. Now, I'm getting quite a bit of that, a little bit of vanilla, some honey coming through on this, but yeah, a lot of butterscotch on this. So yeah, actually a lot of vanilla and butterscotch coming through. So let's give this a quick taste. Cheers. Very good. So yeah, I would say the nose and taste on this probably match very well. So, and for something that's aged 3 or 4 years, I'm guessing well, it's got a lot of good flavor, some good spice, very sweet. So this could be kind of almost an after dinner type drink with it being as sweet as it is. So, but yeah, something very solid would be really nice to just sip on. That was very good. So I'm not exactly sure why it's not considered a bourbon. It does say that it was aged in new American white oak barrels for 3 to 4 years. So I'm not exactly sure. So hopefully I can kind of verify some of that for you. So let's go on to number two. This is very light. You'll see right here. This is just kind of you know, almost like White Dog almost, but with a little bit of kind of tannish to it. So so you can see there. So let's go ahead and we'll give this a nose. Actually, this is number two. So this is described as their nectarine and honey whiskey, which says made from gold-winning Troy and Sons Platinum whiskey, unaged and infused with local mountain honey and California nectarines. The true American whiskey with a delicious twist. So let's see what this, how this smells. Yeah, so you do get a lot of that kind of a zesty kind of, yeah, actually a lot of zest on this. So that's actually very nice. So, and it does indicate a little bit of, what do they have? Local mountain honey. So yeah, it's all kind of coming through in the nose. Another very sweet aroma on that. So let's go ahead and give this a taste. Yeah, so that's very sweet. So I know they said kind of honey and nectarine. That's exactly that. So that would be something if you just wanted to maybe put a little bit of maybe an ice cube or two and pour a little bit of that, sit back at the end of the night and sip on that if you like something that's very sweet. Or that could be infused in a particular kind of cocktail. Not exactly sure what kind, but I'm sure there's some mixologists out there that would love to get their hands on something like that. So again, something very sweet, but again, very, very good. Interesting, I'll say. And again, these are all whiskeys, so just different forms, different flavored whiskeys. So let's go on to number 3, which is the Oak Reserve whiskey. So this is right here. I'll do the color here in a second, but the description is platinum whiskey, barrel aged and used, Woodford Reserve bourbon barrels for 4 years. So again, these are out of used Woodford Reserve barrels. A true hearts whiskey that is wickedly smooth, full of vanilla and caramel nose and taste. So let's see what that shows. So again, here's the color on this. So pretty close to the original blonde whiskey, because this is the base of that. So this just has, well, actually it doesn't have anything infused. I thought this was more. So this is more of just the straight whiskey. So let's go ahead and give this a nose. All right, so again, something very sweet. You get a lot of, with this, still a lot of butterscotch coming through on that. You know, the vanilla, the caramel, so a lot of, you know, bourbon characteristics on this. I suppose the only thing that's not making this a bourbon is the fact that this is put into used oak barrels rather than new. Had they been new, sat in the char, that would have qualified this as a bourbon, as long as it was at least 51% corn. So let's go ahead and give this a nose, or taste, excuse me. Yeah, so a lot of the profile on these has right up front a lot of sweetness. I still get a lot of this, especially has a ton of honey. This is almost like sipping on a glass of honey with a light butterscotch note. So again, for somebody who likes a really good whiskey, something that's really sweet and doesn't mind kind of taking their time with, this would be something fantastic to sip on. And again, for anyone maybe making a whiskey cocktail that would require something very sweet, so far all of these products would be spot on for that. So these are fantastic so far. But yeah, again, let's go. Yeah, so again, very, very smooth. I know that term is kind of frowned upon using, but and it's very like viscous. So there's a lot of it really clings to the glass here on this. You can maybe see, I don't know if you can see some of the legs on it a little bit, but it really does kind of hold up well. It's got an oily texture. No, really no heat at all on this. And I don't know, they don't actually indicate the proof on any of these, so I'm assuming they're probably in that between 80 and 90 proof, so or 45 to 40 to 45 percent ABV. So yeah, again, this is a very good sipping whiskey. So now let's go on to the final one. So this indicates number 4, the cinnamon and honey whiskey, which says made from gold-winning Troy & Sons Platinum whiskey. So that was number 3. So here's the base. And unaged and infused with local mountain honey and cinnamon powder. A true American whiskey with a delicious twist. So this is going to be their spin on the kind of cinnamon-based whiskey. So let's go ahead and give this a nose. Actually, we'll go ahead and do the color of this first. So yeah, a lot of them, other than number 2, the nectarine and honey whiskey, all of these look to be about the same. So it appears to be the same base with different things infused within it. So let's go ahead and maybe give this a little bit of a nose and see what we come up with. Yeah, so right away you're getting, you know, that cinnamon right up front. Not overpowering by any means. This isn't like Fireball or anything like that. So this is something that's a lot softer than that. But yeah, so this is something very good. So let's go ahead and give this. Yeah, you get a lot of the cinnamon with that. Really sweet, maybe even a little bit of honey. So let's give this a taste. So this is that's very, very interesting. Another type of whiskey. Again, that would be fantastic in a cocktail. You could sip on this for sure. It's a low ABV. I'm sure. I don't know exactly what it is, but the proof has got to be fairly low on this. There's almost no burn. A very nice or pleasant cinnamon flavor to it. So again, something that'd be easy to sip on, or again in some type of cocktail. That's been one of the consistent things with all of these, is that they'd be fantastic in a cocktail. So again, all of them, you could sip on any of these. Some might involve a little bit more time just because of how sweet they are. Maybe even a little bit of water to cut the sweetness. But again, all very, very good. So I'd highly recommend, maybe checking them out. See if this is something that may, fit at your bar, or something you just, again, want to, sip on a little bit. So, again, I want to thank the people over at Troy and Sons for sending these for me to do the review of. This was very, very interesting. And again, as always, I'd appreciate if you would subscribe, trying to build the channel to get this to become something that's very informative and useful. And hopefully people appreciate me doing some of these things. I know I really like to do these, so I'm having a really good time, and I've gotten a lot of good feedback. So again, thank you to everybody out there in the bourbon and whiskey community. So again, go ahead and subscribe, leave a comment, maybe some suggestions or recommendations for what I do. Next review I think I'm going to do is going to be maybe an introductory to bourbon, so maybe some people who are new to bourbon. I'm going to try to pick out a few bourbons that would be something that people would, be able to start off with easily. So we'll go out and kind of do that maybe on the next one. So again, as always, I appreciate everybody watching my videos. Subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.